John Fisher, the Relocation Saga, and the Oakland fans. It's time to put it all to bed. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I am your host, Boney, one name. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I am from the Bay Area, and I have been a diehard A's fan since 1981. I'm here to bring you a real fan's take, covering everything from Sacramento to Las Vegas. This is the place for A's fans to get the latest game breakdowns, team news, and more. This is where the passion of the fans take center stage. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. We have a very exciting show for you today as spring training is entering its second week. We have not talked enough about baseball, and after today, that ends. Speaking of baseball, the A's have two glaring immediate needs that have been glaring in the offseason: third base and a fifth starter. I am going to give you my two sleepers in spring training to keep an eye on that may slip into those starting roles. That's later. First, the A's relocation saga has been a drawn-out drama series this offseason, and today it has reached its conclusion. Because after the next segment, I will never again address John Fisher, the relocation saga, Las Vegas, or the Oakland fans. It's time to put this drawn-out drama all to bed. First, this episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. When I first started this show, my mission was simple: to talk about baseball, to revel in the crack of the bat, the thrill of a strikeout, and the promise of young prospects like Nick Kurtz and the blazing velocity of Mason Miller's fastball. Baseball was supposed to be the focus, pure, untainted by off-the-field drama. But if I'm being honest with you, and I owe you that much, I've failed miserably at sticking to that mission. Over time, especially during the off-season when baseball news runs dry, I found myself drawn into the swirling storm of controversy surrounding John Fisher, Major League Baseball, and the relocation saga. It became an easy topic, a fire that was already burning. And like many of you, I got caught up in it. At first, I took the side of Oakland, the community that has been wronged, the fans who have been left in the cold. I believed in the narrative that this was a crime against a storied baseball city, a betrayal that deserved to be tried on Capitol Hill. And for a while, I bought into it. I bought into it completely. But as time went on, I started to notice cracks in the story we weren't being told. Pieces were missing. Questions were left unanswered. Why weren't we hearing the full truth? Why was only half the truth being shared? I wanted answers. I wanted the answers to simple things like I mentioned. Why certain details were being omitted. My goal wasn't to take sides. I wasn't here to blame the fans or to defend John Fisher. I simply wanted clarity. I reached out to voices in the community, former host of this show, writers, podcasters alike, filmmakers, people with platforms and perspectives I thought could help fill in the gaps. Some ignored me. Some dismissed me outright. Others, like Jason Burke, agreed to come on, but then ghosted me without so much as a call or an explanation. Jason, in nearly 3 decades of professional experience, whether it be in the private sector, the public sector, I've never done that to anyone. It's just not professional and something I'm not about. It's disrespectful. It sends a message that my opinion, my platform, isn't worth your time. After months, I finally decided to press Jason, and his response was, quote unquote, I agreed to do the show to be nice since I built that podcast and the following. Then you started posting rage baiting episodes for clicks. So I figured I didn't want to go on anymore. Hope that helps, quote unquote. Well, Jason, it does help. And it drives me nuts when someone says I am doing this for clicks. Just so you know how clicks and or views work is that every 10,000 views roughly equals $100. Considering this show gets about 300 views or so per episode, yes, that's $3. The numbers have been consistent when Burke, Wayne Coy, Sully, or I did the show. I mean, yeah, there have been occasions where an episode about the potential relocation or drama surrounding the A's has drawn 2,000 to 4,000 viewers. Hate to break it to you, but the A's fans don't show up, period, when it comes to baseball. They didn't at the Coliseum. They don't at Locked On A's. I know. Locked On doesn't spend money on free agent hosts. I mean, Burke was like a, Ross Stripley. He didn't move the needle. Coy was like an Alex Wood, experienced, but not very good. Sully was like a Scott Alexander, solid bullpen signing, came in, was great, did what he was supposed to do. And then there's me, your Rule 5 draft pick, maybe your Mitch Spence or Noah Murdoch. But I regress. The comment Jason Burke said on why he didn't want to come on the show shows you how clueless he was. If there was something that bothered him or that I was inaccurate in, tell me. I would have no problem addressing it, correcting it if need be. The comment of clicks shows you how clueless an individual like Jason Burke is. And if I was depending on Locked On A's to be my career choice, I'd be in a lot of trouble. Fortunately for me, I did not go that route. Again, I regress. Speaking of Wayne Coy, I have politely invited him as well. Complimented him on his show. And what he did, he either ignored my invitation or dismissed me as someone who didn't know what I was talking about. He attacked me, posting personal information about me on social media. No matter how major or minor you may think that was, Wayne, you know what you did. He never pointed out where I was wrong. He never countered any of the points I said. He simply attacked and told me that I didn't know what I was talking about. And he may be right. And it's just not Jason Burke and Wayne Coy. Across the board, from local media to A's writers and podcasters, my invitations were met with silence or condescension. Here's the thing. I don't claim to have all the answers, but my questions regarding the A's are valid and they deserved a response. Yet, time and time again, I've been treated as though my voice doesn't matter, as though I'm not worthy of a seat at the table. To those who have ignored or disrespected me, you know who you are. Out of the countless invitations I've sent, only 2 people accepted. KP, who I debated with last week, and another Oakland native named Jesse. While technical issues prevented Jesse's appearance from happening, I thank them both for their willingness to engage. So what's my point in all of this? Why am I telling you all of this? Here it is. First and foremost, I do my best. I say what I feel based on opinion, based on facts. And while I have no issues with the haters out there and your comments and your 4-letter expletives, I do have issues with individuals that are attempting to get the same message across as I am. Your Jason Burks, your Wayne Coys, those that attack me. And Jason and Wayne, I want you to remember one thing. You guys came at me, not the other way around. I'm done talking about John Fisher and the Relocation Saga. It's baseball time now. But before I move on, let me leave you with this. The anger toward John Fisher isn't just about relocation. It's about something deeper. It's about a billionaire owner who has been smug, arrogant, and dismissive of an entire community. He hasn't answered simple questions or been transparent with fans. He looks down on Oakland as if it's beneath him. He has become the perfect villain in this story, cold, detached, and indifferent to the people who have supported this team through thick and thin. But here's the twist. In many ways, some of you, the representatives of A's fans, the media members, the podcasters, have mirrored Fisher's behavior, the smugness, the arrogance, the refusal to engage in honest dialogue. It's all there. You hide behind your keyboards and dismiss those who challenge your perspective as if their voices don't matter. You look down on people like me with an air of superiority, as if my questions are beneath you. And maybe you are better than me. Maybe my platform isn't worthy of your time. But here's something for you to chew on. The way you feel about me and my platform and my message is exactly how John Fisher feels about you. Let that sink in. Let that really sink in. The disdain you show for others is reflected right back at you by the man you claim to despise. Today's episode is brought to you in part by SelectQuote. In sports, having a winning strategy is everything. It's how the best teams make it to the Super Bowl, the World Series, and the Olympics. The same goes for life. Having a strategy like life insurance from SelectQuote can protect your financial legacy and keep your family's future secure. SelectQuote makes it easy to find the perfect life insurance policy. As one of America's leading insurance brokers with nearly 40 years of experience, they have helped over 2 million customers find $700 billion in coverage since 1985. What sets SelectQuote apart is their personal touch. Unlike other brokers that offer one-size-fits-all policy, their licensed agents tailor coverage to fit your unique needs. If you're in good health, you might even qualify for same-day coverage of up to $5 million. No medical exam required, and it's more affordable than you'd think. You can get up to $1 million in coverage for as little as $20 a month. Get the right life insurance for you for less at selectquote.com/locked on. Go to selectquote.com selectquote.com/lockedon today to get started. That's selectquote.com/lockedon. SelectQuote. They shop, you save. Let's get back to baseball. As the A's prepare for the 2025 season, one of the most intriguing storylines is their pitching rotation. One name generating buzz is Mason Barnett, a rising prospect who I have compared to a former A in Sonny Gray. Can Mason Barnett emerge as the fifth starter? The projected 2025 A's rotation has three starters etched in stone. You got Luis Severino, Jeffrey Springs, and J.P. Sears. Osvaldo Bido seems to have the inside track on the number 4 slot, with the number 5 spot being up for grabs with names like Mitch Spence, Joey Estes, Jacob Lopez, and many others in that competition. One name that has not been mentioned, who is my sleeper to win the competition, is Mason Barnett. Let's start with, who is Mason Barnett? He's a right-handed pitcher who was acquired by the A's in a trade with Kansas City that sent Lucas Ursay to the Royals. And he has quickly climbed the ranks in the A's system. Drafted in the 3rd round of the 2022 MLB draft out of Auburn University, Barnett has impressed scouts with his advanced pitch mix and competitive demeanor. In 2024, Barnett posted an impressive 11.3 Ks per 9 innings, while pitching for Double-A Midland. His ability to miss bats stood out in a league known for its hitter-friendly environments. In Midland's playoff run, Barnett struck out 15 batters over 11 innings, showcasing his ability to rise to the occasion. Barnett's pitch mix is one of his biggest strengths. Here's a closer look at his repertoire. Fastball velocity sits in the 93 to 95 mph range with good life up in the zone. Effective as both a strikeout pitch and a setup for his breaking balls. He generates swings and misses due to his late ride. He has a sweeper, a modern slider variant with horizontal movement. A true put-away pitch against right-handed hitters, generating weak contact and whiffs. Opposing hitters batted under 200 against his sweeper in Double-A. His curveball, more of a traditional breaking ball with sharp vertical drop. Changeup, still a work in progress, but improving, primarily deployed against left-handed hitters. Big concerns for him is more consistency to avoid becoming predictable. Now, why does Barnett deserve a shot at the 5th starter? Barnett brings several key attributes that bolster his case for earning a spot in the rotation. Strikeout ability, his 11.3 K per 9 innings rate in Double-A demonstrates his knack for missing bats, a critical skill for MLB success. Breaking ball effectiveness, both his sweeper and curveball are legitimate weapons that can neutralize big league hitters. By reducing his walk rate and whip, Barnett showed he's addressing one of his biggest weaknesses. His playoff performance in Midland suggests he thrives under pressure, a quality that bodes well for future challenges. If Barnett can carry over his Double-A success into spring training and early season action, he could provide much needed stability at the back end of the rotation. His ability to miss bats and limit hard contact would complement the A's existing starters well. Now, what are some of his potential obstacles and concern? Well, while Barnett has plenty of upside, there are still areas of concern. Command consistency. Although he improved his control, Barnett's walk rate has been an issue in the past. Maintaining consistent command will be crucial for his success at the MLB level. At 6 feet and around 190 pounds, Barnett doesn't have the prototypical size of a workhorse starter. There are questions about whether he can handle a full MLB workload without wearing down. His changeup development. To succeed as a starter, Barnett needs a reliable weapon against left-handed hitters. His changeup shows promise but remains inconsistent. Is Mason Barnett the next Sonny Gray? Barnett's profile draws comparisons to the former A's ace. Both pitchers are undersized right-handers with excellent breaking balls and competitive fire. Gray overcame concerns about his size to become a frontline starter, and Barnett could follow a similar path if he continues to refine his game. The similarities between the two and why I say Sonny Gray: size and stature, strong breaking ball repertoire, ability to generate strikeouts despite lacking elite velocity. The comparison isn't perfect. Gray's command was far more advanced at this stage, but it highlights Barnett's potential ceiling as a mid-rotation starter. My predictions for 2025: what's the future hold for Mason Barnett? Here are two possible scenarios. One, he starts in AAA Las Vegas. The A's may want Barnett to gain additional seasoning at AAA before bringing him up to the big leagues. This would allow him to further refine his changeup and build confidence against advanced hitters. Two, he could possibly break camp as the fifth starter. That's my prediction. If Barnett shines in spring training and outperforms other candidates, the A's could reward him with an opening day roster spot. How about his long-term role? While there's always a chance Barnett transitions to a bullpen role if starting doesn't pan out, his pitch mix and recent improvements suggest he has what it takes to stick as a starter. Mason Barnett's path to impacting the A's future represents exactly what the A's need to their pitching staff right now. Young, cost-controlled pitcher with upside. While there are still hurdles for him to overcome, his strikeout ability, breaking ball effectiveness, and improving control make him an exciting candidate for the fifth spot in the rotation. A's fans debate whether Barnett should start in AAA or break into the big leagues immediately. One thing is clear: he's a name worth watching closely in 2025 and beyond. Do you think Mason Barnett is ready to claim the fifth starter role, or should he spend more time developing in AAA? How does Barnett's potential compare to other young pitchers in the A's system? Could Barnett follow Sonny Gray's path and become a key part of the A's future rotation? Now, I said I have two sleepers that I think will break through this spring, and the other is at third base. CJ Alexander has not been spoken of often. Let's get into CJ Alexander up next. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Why CJ Alexander should be the A's starting third baseman in 2025. Well, let's first start with who is CJ Alexander. CJ Alexander is a 28-year-old third baseman with a winding journey through the minor leagues before landing with the A's in 2024. Originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves in 2018, he later spent time in the Kansas City Royals system before the A's claimed him off waivers. Despite limited MLB experience, Alexander brings intriguing potential, especially in power and defense, making him a strong candidate to be the A's everyday third baseman in 2025. What are some of his strengths? Raw power. Alexander has consistently demonstrated power at various levels. In 2022, he slugged 25 bombs across AA, showcasing his ability to drive the ball. While MLB data is limited, his minor league numbers suggest a solid exit velocity profile. His ability to barrel the ball up could translate into extra base power at the big league level. Run production. Despite fluctuating batting averages, he has shown an ability to drive in runs. 87 ribbies in 2022. Now, his plate discipline definitely needs to improve. Strikeouts have been an issue, and his walk rate needs improvements for him to be a reliable everyday hitter. His career minor league OBP is .304, indicates struggles with getting on base. However, with adjustments, he could improve his contact rate and patience at the plate. Why does CJ Alexander stand out for me? While Gio Urshela and Daryl Hernandez offer more contact and on-base skills, CJ Alexander has the highest raw power potential. If he can refine his approach, he provides a much-needed power bat at third base. A strong glove at the hot corner is a key. Scouts have praised Alexander's strong arm, making him well-suited for third base. Despite being a bigger-bodied third baseman, he has displayed solid lateral movement and good hands. While minor league defensive stats are limited, he has generally been rated as an above-average fielder with good instincts. How I see Alexander fitting into the A's long-term plans. If he continues to develop his power and improve his plate discipline, he could become a solid middle-of-the-order bat with above-average defense. The long-term benefits of a guy like CJ Alexander is low risk, high reward. The A's can afford to give him everyday reps to see if his power translates at the MLB level. With the A's farm system developing, Alexander can hold down the position while younger infielders such as Max Muncy continue to grow. And if he performs well, he could become a trade asset for the A's in 2025, maybe beyond. While his brief MLB stint in 2024 wasn't impressive, he hit 125 in 8 at-bats. It's too small of a sample size to judge his long-term potential. Many power hitters take time to adjust to MLB pitching. His minor league power suggests there's more upside. Of course, there are concerns with regard to his high strikeout rate, but they are common for power hitters. If he can maintain a walk rate close to 8% and improve his two-strike approach, he can offset this weakness. The A's have worked with hitters on plate discipline before. Coaching adjustments could help him become more selective. Final verdict, I think CJ Alexander will be in a platoon role with Gio Urshela at third base in 2025. Alexander provides a power bat at a position where the A's currently lack it. A strong arm and a solid glove make him the best defensive option along with Urshela at third base. The A's have nothing to lose with CJ Alexander at third base. I don't believe Gio Urshela is going to move the needle. We know what we are getting with Gio Urshela, a solid veteran bat who has above average defensive skills. If Alexander gets consistent playing time and makes adjustments at the plate, he has the potential to be a solid contributor for the A's in 2025. While not a perfect player, his upside and defensive ability make him the best choice at third base. We will see what happens in spring training. The A's open up spring training play on Saturday, and I will have all the reports for you with any news that hits the A's wire. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB. Baseball guru Sully brings a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will see you tomorrow.